Hello, my people. I wanted to talk to y'all today about a young man named Emmett Till. Who was born in Chicago and died in Money, Mississippi, at the age of 14. You know, he he was born in Chicago. To a single mother, and she raised him to be a fine young man. And he went to visit his granddad out in Mississippi, so he can get some more structure and growing and so he could grow up more and be more of a mature young man. But his life was taken from him very tragically and very evilly. And him coming from Chicago, he didn't really know the Mississippi rules. Mississippi was very racist, you know, around this time, with the Jim Crow laws and all of that. And, back then you still had to drink from a colored water fountain, if you could find one. And you couldn't eat in white restaurants or anything like that. So, white people, they instilled a lot of fear into all black, people that lived in Mississippi, and they did a lot of lynching and things like that out there. So Emmett being a young 14-year-old kid, full of spirit and full of joy, the rumor has it that he went in a store and I guess when seen a white lady, I guess that was attractive to him or whatever, and he whistled at her, just maybe something that's that's not in context, but definitely not something that you should be murdered for. So, but he whistled at the white lady, and you know the the word got around town, that a black kid that's fresh in town, in Money, Mississippi, that he whistled at a white lady, so it became a big thing, So about 3 or 4 days later, these white men they show up at his granddad's, you know, looking for him. They showed up in the middle of the night with guns and all of that. They wanted Emmett Till. And the story of Emmett Till is something that's so tragic, man. Like, I seen the pictures. I listened to his mother talk, and you could see the pain in her. Even to this day. And it's something that stuck with me ever since I seen it. So, hopefully that Emmett, he's resting good, and hopefully his spirit is with God, and I'm sure it is, and it's a living testimony of being black in America can do to you. Something that's that can happen, and so anyway, they pulled him out the house, took him down to some barn. His family had no clue of of what was going to happen to him. And a lot of us today, we think of like things that we would have done, but you know, it's not like right now in 1980s or 70s or 60s, like living in LA or somewhere like that, that maybe you might would have fought back, but being in the South, they had the Klan and they instilled fear in you, in many ways. It was a white town, so they owned all the police and all the jails and all the courts and everything. So they would by doing certain things, the one or two would put the fear into thousands. So this was the plan that they had, and that it worked good for them. And so anyway, they took Emmett down, man, and they beat him and tied a fan, around his neck, a big heavy fan, and they beat him to the point of that you couldn't even recognize him. His body was found like a couple of days later or something like that, and his family, they was mortified. His mother, she was mortified. She had to come all the way from Chicago to Mississippi, to get her baby, and at first, they didn't, the I guess the chief of police or whoever out there, he wanted it to be a quick burial. He was like, we burying him right now. Like they didn't want this to get out to the public, as far as as such many other things that they've done. I'm sure that they covered up and buried, and that has never been released to us, to the public. That they was able to cover up because they owned all of the law enforcement and everything else, so they covered up a lot of things, I'm sure of it. And but anyway, his mother, thankfully for her spirit, that they were able to take his body, I guess back to Chicago, and have an open casket, so everyone could see, what they did to her baby, and it took some brutal human beings to do this, and to even teach these kind of things is pretty horrible, man. I mean, it's pretty horrible. They don't even do these things to animals, but they do it to black people, and they get away with it, and they think it's okay, and you know, Lord knows how many men picked him up that night, but it was two men who was charged, with the basically the kidnapping and murder of Emmett Till, which was a laughery and buffoonery because the police was on these people's side. It's a white town, it's a black kid. They looking at it like he came and disrespected, so they taught him a lesson. That's the way they feel about it. And the two men, they smiled in court and and everything. It was just a disgrace. To humanity. To that some people can be this evil to do something like this, and people would back them up and support it. And I mean, it's a horrible thing. So um, I pray for Emmett Till's, family today, and hopefully that they found some kind of peace, just knowing that he did go to a better place, um, and just hopefully that they spirits, can be you know at peace, because that's a tough thing to deal with, but back in the South, it was pretty tough being black, back then, even to the day, because they have they Confederacy, is they wear loud and proud and all of that, and a lot of these things, have been taught to them, by different characters such as Willie Lynch, and if you don't know about the Willie Lynch syndrome, you should go and check up on it because the Willie Lynch syndrome, it's basically is what's going on today between blacks, amongst every age of blacks, male and female. The Willie Lynch syndrome was real, and they practice it today. We just don't know that they practice these things because we don't we figure we free, and a lot of times we really not, and the Willie Lynch syndrome basically was created, either the year 1612 or 1712, where Willie Lynch came to teach slave owners of how to produce a better slave, or a more tame slave, and his method was pretty lost for words, pretty astonishing, because I feel like it worked, and it works today, you know, by putting the young black male against the older black male, and the older black male against the younger black male, and the light skinned male against the dark skinned male, and vice versa, And this is why there are so many broken homes, and where maybe some of these black kids might have the mother but don't have the father, because a woman, she can only teach you so much, she can only, especially, as far as a man, coming up in this world as a black man, a mother can only teach so much. So, there it's already a strike against you when you're born, So, and these was things that was planned. This was, I'm sure that doctrine been passed around. I'm sure it's white people in Senate, that's judges and everything else, in powerful positions that have read this Willie Lynch thing, and they take it to heart. They've been practicing it, I'm sure ever since Willie Lynch, came and told them about, how to break a person, and you know, they basically, called the black man and woman a savage, like we was equal and compared to a horse, to a animal, and it's pretty sad that that any human could, even like think things like that, that it's that deep in your core for you to feel that another human that bleeds just like you, and that has a spirit and a soul just like you do, but because of the color of their skin, they're savages, and these are things that's been expressed even through the day, I mean, it's very sad that here in America that the black man and the black woman still face oppression. There's still so much racism. Um, there's still lack of of money in our communities. And so these are not things that accidentally happen. These are things that was planned. These was planned things. That these people have done, and it's a shame that we fallen victim. And a lot of it is by trial and error. I mean, they killed Martin Luther King. Was the last person to stand up. And so it basically put us all, kind of in check, I guess. And it's a sad thing, man, that and Martin Luther King, he did nothing wrong. He was a pastor. So I look at it like, you have to be pretty evil to kill a pastor. This man spoke the word of God, but the hate was so deep within these people. That you know that they just can't help themselves, man. And even today, you can't even speak out. You can't say nothing. They basically will beat you into place. However that they can. Whether they however that they have to keep you in check, man. And that's pretty sad. That's a sad thing, and I believe that's why this COVID thing is going on. Because it might be God putting us in check. You feel me? So who knows? But I know if He say things not gonna move, then things not gonna move. So maybe man need these things to happen because I feel like man have been just the lack of caring is just not there, for all human beings, all race of people. I just don't see it. It's like everybody take and kill, kill, kill. I mean, there's no respect, it's no love from other humans, like period. If you ain't one of us, then you're one of them, it's stuff like that. So it keep, it's all divided as a people. And like I said, this Willie Lynch thing, it's worked on black people because that's how it is. The older guys, the older blacks, we talk down on the youngsters, and the youngsters think that we're out of touch with them. So they listen to each other. How you gonna learn from somebody that's your age unless they're really intelligent, and and just because you're older don't mean that you know everything, but you should have gained a little wisdom by now, especially if you reach the age of 35, there should be some wisdom within you that you can help, share with a youngster 17, 18 years old that, that he can learn from you just as well as, we all can learn from a younger person also, but this Willie Lynch syndrome, you know, was created so that we don't, listen to each other, So, you know, we need to kind of break that system and break that cycle of, that, I'm older than you, so I'm smarter than you, or you younger, you should listen to me. We need to break that cycle, man, and we all need to start listening to each other. If you have something important and intelligent to say, then I should listen. Because a fool's You can't mistake a fool except for nothing but a fool. So, when a fool speaks, it's going to be known to some anyone that has any kind of sense. So, there's things that we need to pay attention to a little more, and you know, and we need to stop it, man. Like as far as black people, we need to, love one another, man. You feel me? Because I shouldn't have to be worried about you, and you shouldn't have to be worried about me. You feel me? So, and until we can ever come to them terms, I think it's just all bad. And when it come back, on us, and it come down upon us, I think we all in trouble. You feel me? Because none of us is exempt from you know whatever the plan is. So you may think you are, but none of us are exempt of the things to come. And if we don't get ourselves together and right and start showing more love, and stop showing so much hate, because I'm tired of turning on the TV and seeing all these young brothers getting killed over some stupid stuff, man, over some stuff that ain't even important. Louis Vuitton and Gucci don't give two fucks about y'all, man, but y'all care about that though. You feel me? Like you gotta have Louis, you gotta have Gucci, you gotta have Fendi, and I'm sure they wouldn't feed none of y'all if you was on your knees begging them for a plate. Guarantee you they would call you a bum. So man, we need to think a little more before we we take these material things over another human's life, and another human's spirit, man, because material stuff don't make you better than anyone. It might look nice and it might make you feel good for a moment, but after that, then what's the chase? You chasing something else after that. So we need to think about these things when we just we sacrificing ourselves and as well as other people just for these material gain things, and and which if you need all of them things to make you happy, then you're really not happy. And I don't know, man, but we need to get it together, man. And black people, let's try to get our mind right, man, and stop killing each other, because it's gonna be a day that we ain't gonna be able to escape it, man. If you out here living like that, and that's your goal and that's your mission, then when it come back on you, remember, ain't no crying, don't cry. You feel me? So, you gotta take it just how you dished it out, how evil your heart is. You gotta take it back, man. You gotta accept it the same way that you dishing it out. So, if that's the way you live, then it's coming back to you. So, I just wanted to stop through for a quick minute and holler at y'all because Emmett Till was on my heart. I've been wanting to speak about Emmett Till, and I'm sure later down the line, I'm gonna speak about a whole lot of other things. Like Frederick Douglass, W.B. Du Bois, and it's many more. That as I go into my bag of tricks with the history, because you know African American history is very important to me, and it should be important to you too. If your skin is, as a tone as mine, or even lighter, or even 1%, because I'm 99.9% of African. You feel me? So straight up, I would have been on that boat. You feel me? Like no doubt about it. You feel me? I would have been down there, cuffed on that boat. Right along with you, man. So, to my ancestors, I salute them. I pray for them every day, man. I pray that God took them into His dwelling place, along with Him. So until next time, man. This was just a brief stop through, man. So I holler at y'all, man. Thank you.